I'm your host, Riem Zin Labidin, and you are listening to Tic Tac Podcast. Today, our guest is Mohamed Ali. He's a cloud solution architect at Microsoft. I'm very excited and happy to talk to him. Let's meet with him and learn about his inspiring journey. Hello, Mohammed. I'm very happy to have you here. Welcome to TikTok.
Hello, I'm happy to be here also.
Thanks for accepting the invitation. Could you introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. My name is Mohammed. I'm a cloud solution architect at Microsoft. I'm currently based in Amsterdam, the Netherlands. I've been working in IT for more than 10 years. A bit personal about myself. I'm from Cairo, Egypt. I also started my career after I graduated from computer science from Helwan University. Yeah, and that's a bit about me.
Cool. So you started your passion into computers and programming since your studies. How did you get the inspiration to start that?
Actually, it was starting from high school. Usually, we had high school, it was something, it's a big deal. You have somehow to get into engineering or something. So it was always the target for everyone. Okay, if you don't go to engineering or medical, become a doctor or something, you are some kind like a failure or something like this. So everyone has this target that you have to do good and just join engineering or like medical college. But at this point, I had the same. So I wanted just to get into engineering for some role. I didn't really had like a strong passion about actually joining computer science, but it just happened at one point, and then it became like as a best choice. But after actually I joined and I get to learn, I enjoyed computers. I enjoyed like assembling stuff more to the hardware part because also I liked gaming. Starting of my career, I liked also to have some customized setup for my PC and. Yeah, that was my connection with the computer, but I never really did have like something with programming. It developed over the years once I joined the computer science and I get more into programming and love the way it happened. Yeah.
I see. So you start developing this like interest into programming along the way.
Yeah. It just like it grew over time.
Mhm.
Once I joined, I just fall in love with just development, programming, and everything in between, or if every other thing that I need. So if every time I discover a new thing or be able to build something new with something, yeah, just I loved it more. Yeah.
While you were studying, have you started working maybe for internships or
Yeah,
something?
I have interesting story about that. So because I after I finished, so I didn't really join like internship during my studies, but I started my career at IBM in Egypt, in Cairo. After I finished my studies, there was an opportunity to join as an intern, and it was a long-term internship. It lasted for like 6 to 12 months or something like this. So it was at the beginning of my career. And yeah, looking back, I think this was one of the best decisions that I did. It helped me at the start of my career to actually shape what I want to do because also after graduation, I don't know, but you have this period that you are not sure what you maybe want to
Yeah.
do, how to start, and so on, and give me a lot of possibilities to pursue after I joined. And also, I learned a lot. I met a lot of people. I had a lot of mentors there. It's really a place that I love. It was always when I speak with younger people in the IT industry or like after their graduation, always recommend to maybe start with a program, internship program in a bigger company that might help you defining your career, also learning a lot about what you want to do. Maybe it won't be something for you. Maybe it won't be like something that you want to continue, but at least you try a lot of things, meet a lot of people, also work with a lot of senior people that actually can guide you or be as mentor or coach for your career.
And in this kind of internships, they directly give you like which kind of role? Is it everything? Like,
Yeah, for this it was I think there was a lot of challenges going through. So it has different tracks, and for each track, a lot of like students just applied, and you had this like I don't know, this Hunger Games type of exam challenges, like interviews, stuff like that. You had to go through, and by the end, you just get specialized in one of the tracks. Usually, they talk to you a bit. They try to understand, okay, what you want to do. Most of the time, it's just like yeah, they give you something to start with, being a part of a team, knowing what are the options, and just getting starting with one track. My track was that I joined was application development and integration at this point. Yeah, and I started from that track.
Interesting. During that internship, have you encountered some challenges that you'd like to share?
Yeah, sure. Like I said, joining the internship itself was a challenge because yeah, there was a lot of good students, a lot of people actually trying to challenge, and we had to go all through this exams, like projects that or demos that we had to do, stuff like that, and it was challenging, but it was also an environment that help you to grow and maybe experiment new things. After I joined, that was challenging for me because yeah, there wasn't a lot of internship at this point in this team or the team that I was joining. IBM is a big company with a lot of like projects that they are delivering at client side. The first project that I had to join actually it was at a client side. It was in a really large bank in Cairo. They had to join the team, and I work with all of these senior people, and I'm just like I don't know a graduate or a fresh grad from university, and I have to prove that I have a value to add. I had the same feeling always also in my career that I'm jumping from one opportunity to another. I most of the time I was the youngest or one of the young members of the team. I usually work with people like I don't know 15 or 10 years more experience than me. And yeah, it's challenging to add value. It's to prove that you have new ideas or to have something to actually add to the projects and the team.
I can imagine. And there are some types of senior, the people who also are open to share their knowledge with you.
Yeah,
And there are the people who says it's obvious and it's like you have to do it
yeah,
yourself and it makes it more
yeah.
difficult. Have you encountered these types
Yeah,
or?
I encountered both. I think a lot of people, yeah, some people are just like want to help you to get there. So I know that you are younger, maybe you don't have enough experience at this point, but I want to get you to have the right experience for the job. I want to maybe coach you somehow, and this is more a personal traits also for people. Other people just said okay, or like you don't have the experience. I want someone who actually has the experience to the job. I don't want to I don't know babysit someone junior or fresh doing the job. So it was just the different personalities. I met a lot of people who actually tried to help and tried to give me the right context and the right opportunity to actually perform well. And when I had the opportunity, I actually performed well. So I proved my worth. I started building communication with a client because we're in a client side environment. So I started building communication with a client, having meetings, gathering requirements, and also like being a reliable person from the client perspective, which gives me more credit in my position.
Fortunately, there are people who provide guidance.
Yeah. I think I was lucky enough through all my careers that I always met people who actually were nice enough to help, but had the time and dedicated that. And I always try to be the same person when I have the opportunity to people who are younger or like anyone actually who just lack a knowledge that I know. I always work to share that. Part of it is just a give back to all the people who actually helped me through my career to just to do my job to be able to grow and be better at what I'm doing.
Nice. And then did you get the job there after this internship?
We were 10 or 12 people, and this internship, it ended up with 3 people getting hired or something. I was one of these 3. I started actually with shadowing in a project, which is a project that I continued with. So after the 4 months of initial training, I started shadowing for another 2 months, and then I got hired onto that position.
How long you have worked there?
I worked there for, I don't know, almost 4 years. So between the internships and other positions, I think I worked there for 4 years. And I think, yeah, I was able to know a lot. So there was a lot to share. I worked with a lot of people who actually I considered a role model in my career. So I learned a lot from them, and it was the right start for my career. I learned a lot from it. I enjoyed. Yeah, a lot of people who I knew they're still my friends or like my mentors even like to some point till now.
That's really cool. Which roles have you been through during that job?
I started like in application development, mainly also like focusing more into application
Mm-hmm.
integration. It's more focusing into like enterprise application and how do they connect and how we build an overall like solution for connecting different applications and different solutions in enterprise. So I started in that scale. I worked with a lot of also IPM products that helped in that role. So there was a lot of product at this time. I'm not sure if you recall or worked before was WebSphere family of
Yeah.
products that IPM had. So I was more focused into that, and the role into integration that helped me actually to understand or have knowledge about the different systems that have been working in enterprise, what kind of solutions that we have, and why do we actually need to integrate them, and how this integration works. It gave me this knowledge, and also at a young age in my career, that actually helped me through my career. Actually, I know a bit about basically every system that was in an enterprise that I worked with, even if I'm not expert on it, but I know a bit of how it works, and how it connects with other systems. So I started there. So I started as in different roles. This was my focus. This was my primary skills. As a secondary skill, also I worked on cloud development, which is would relate to where I am now. So I started exploring with cloud. At this point, it was IBM Cloud, and there was a lot of services that I was working with that helped me with my career. Started as a junior developer. Also during this year, I was able to prove myself in the position after a couple of years. And when I was leaving the opportunity, I acted as a team lead in projects that I was working on. Also was starting to look into maybe architecture career, because I started to explore. I had mentors as an architect, and I think it was always something interesting that I wanted to do.
Mm. And after this job, you have moved to Europe?
Yeah, to be honest, it wasn't something that was really planned. I always wanted to explore something new. It was interesting to me. At some point, I got the opportunity to actually to move to Europe. It was started at Poland. So mainly, I worked a lot with financial services or financial industry. During where I work at IPM, I became an expert, some kind of
Mm-hmm.
expert, not really an expert, but I had a lot of knowledge at this point, and also like with the knowledge that I gain about the IPM ecosystem and products.
Mm-hmm.
So that gave me an edge. Okay, I know a bit about that. I know also a bit about the banking industry. So I got an opportunity just to move to Poland to work to one of the banks there, and yeah, it just happened. I wanted to explore something new, that change, working with different people, maybe working with a bit different methodologies, ways of working, and stuff like that made me really interested. I was young at this point. I wanted to travel. I wanted to explore more, so I just did it.
Cool. And when you worked with this company, was it as a cloud architect?
No, at this point, I took some other positions that was actually mainly focused also on the integration. So I continued to do what I'm doing. I was
Mm-hmm.
maybe in a different position, more into designing solution than implementing. When I was back at IBM, I started doing some design for the solution, the service. I continued in the same way with other positions. So sharing my experience from what I know about the solutions, helping with the design, helping with the implementation, working with the different teams to get it done. So I had several positions in that in the banking or financial industry, also working for banks, doing something similar, but it was mainly about integration, working with other tools also or technologies. This was an important part to have that transition. Working at IBM was great, but it was also like only close to a lot of what IBM offering, and not open to other technologies or other companies that provide different solution. And starting there, I started to gain more experience from the knowledge that I have, applying this to different also tools or technologies that the companies that I was working for was using.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, I didn't start my journey with cloud yet. I already started a part, but yeah, not fully. It just grew over positions.
Mm-hmm. I see. I usually ask about this because I'm interested to know
Yeah.
how it was like the challenges when you moved from
Yeah,
Egypt.
it was a difficult decision. So it wasn't that easy. At this point, you just leave your comfort zone, leave your family, your friends, just starting everything as new. Yeah, it was really challenging. Yeah, I did this a lot in my career, also during my life. Fun fact about me, I worked or lived in like, I don't know, 4 countries or 5 cities in the last 10 years or something. So I moved a lot, and it was always challenging, but it was always interesting to explore new things. It didn't keep me from that change because anyhow I thought it was always that it was the right change for me. It was the right experience that I needed to have at this point. That's why actually I moved. But it wasn't easy. It came with a price that I had it. Yeah, everything is a compromise in in life in general, and I learned that from the changes that I had. Starting new, starting a new language, a new country, new friends, even you have to reach out and build your networks. Friends, you keep missing everything back at home, missing events, missing your work, even your previous work, your colleagues, what you used to do. And yeah, starting everything in a new way. It's definitely challenging. Yeah. And also, I think it was also the first time to me, in personal terms, to actually start living alone, handle a lot of the stuff that you need to do in personal side. So it was also
Yeah.
challenging, not only challenging that you are starting a new position, a new career, but actually you are starting a new life. So it's really challenging, and also trying to balance all the changes that you have and trying to keep the focus between the work and the life and getting new networks and friends. And yeah, it was a lot at time to handle, but I think I managed it well. At some times I failed and I learned from it, and yeah, I kept going.
And you got more experience on that because you moved in different countries.
Yes, yeah. It has all. So yeah, everything has like two sides, right? So it can be exhausting at some points, but also looking back, yeah, I don't regret it. I think it was the right decision. And every time I had to move or have a new challenge, it was also like something that I really wanted to do. It was interesting enough for me, and I thought it was the right career move to do at the moment.
Yeah. And you use the time correctly while you have the energy to make this,
Yes,
etc. Yeah.
yeah. That was another aspect also. I think when I first moved, I don't know, I was 24 or something like that. I was at really young
Mhm.
age, and I said, okay, this is the time for me to travel and to explore this new opportunities, career-wise and personal-wise. And yeah, if I didn't do it now, maybe I won't be able to do it later, and that's why I got started. Yeah.
That's great. And how long have you been in Poland?
I stayed a couple of years there. Between different positions, I think it was all in banking industry. So that was my focus now. So was the industry that I've always worked with. Most of my clients also at IPM moving always I worked with banks, two banks there. So I stayed a couple of years there. And at some point I felt that okay, I'm starting to get really good what I'm doing.
Mhm.
I know what I need to do. Tasks or like projects didn't really seem challenging anymore. And I said, okay, maybe I need to have a different path now. I need to switch more into architecture, which was actually something that I was interested in and was actually involved since I was working in at IPM. This is something that I had in my plan
Mhm.
to grow, that I needed to go more. So it was a type of a switch from like doing more development, then doing mixture of development and design, and then doing a bit more or more into design side. I decided, okay, I need to move into more like architecture position. Also related to the integration and what I was doing already. I'm focusing more into the cloud technologies and providers that I'm working with. So at this point, I felt I have to do the change and be in an uncomfortable situation again. And that's what I did. I took an opportunity to in Belgium in Brussels. I was a part of an architecture team, actually have specialized in integration, which was built in all the experience that I had, and also like working on different solutions and working with those cloud platforms. And this was actually the start of my journey in architecture. I took the opportunity to start it. But also like we discussed, yeah, it wasn't entirely easy because of all the change that you have to face and all the things that you have to do to start again your life at a new country.
Yeah. And especially with the paperwork, like you have to also start
Yeah,
it again.
There's a lot of administration work about it. It's not only about yeah. There is a social part, like personal part, and professional part. But yeah, there is a lot about administration and a lot of papers to do. A lot of checks that you have to pass. Sometimes it feels exhausting. But yeah, like I said, it was always what interested me. That okay, I feel that I'm doing the right career move, and I was working I was focusing more into like progressing in my career at this stage. So yeah, it felt right. I will do it, and yeah, it just turned out to be good.
Yeah.
During the moments, I think you get a lot of doubts about your decisions and whether or not. And this is, I think, this is something that all we are all like facing. You always
Yes.
feel, okay, was this the right move? Or I have already like moved too soon, or maybe stayed a bit. Maybe I should come back. At some points, also like in personal side, you miss your family, you miss your friends, and you want to be with them. And challenging to focus or do a challenging steps like this. You don't realize the journey or like the roadmap that you took until you take it in life. Sometimes you have plans, but you have to have luck. You have to have a lot of things aligned together to just get you to your destination. And I think
Yeah.
I was lucky enough. I made some right decisions at right moments that got me where I wanted to be. And yeah, I'm happy about it.
Yeah, I believe that luck appears when the person knows what they want, so they can see the opportunities and it's
Exactly.
like being
Exactly.
prepared and taking the opportunities, so you will be lucky.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice. And what were the challenges in the new role in Belgium?
So I started also walking away from a lot of the comfort zone or a lot of what I actually used to do. I'm starting to shift into more new rules that I have a lot to actually also learn about. So it depends on some knowledge and experience that I already have, but also a lot of it is actually something that I should gain or get used to actually maintain because it's yeah, it's a new rule. And this was challenging. First actually the self-doubt.
Mhm.
Okay, maybe it wasn't the right move at the moment. Maybe I should have waited more. Maybe I won't be good enough at this. And you got this imposter syndromes that you're thinking about. So this is a part of it. A part of it also was I worked for a consulting company was where it was actually it was more open to every technology, every solutions I worked with. I shifted more and more from the technologies that I used to work with and into like more technologies where I actually apply my experience in a more general way to different, like moving aside from the technology and just moving closer to actually design basics and architecture basics. How do you want to design a solution, and then what kind of components can we use, and what kind of solutions or technologies will help us to get to this solution. So it started to move more from technology and tools, like too specific, too tied to tools that I know and I'm comfortable with, to actually finding the best solution, finding the best tool for the client and designing the right architecture.
Interesting.
Yeah. One thing also I remembered, because also at this point I started my career at architecture at somehow a younger age from what other people, or especially some of the tech people, assume it has to be done with, like, I don't know, more years of experience. And this also was a challenge that I have to make. I had to make with the teams that I joining, because I always join teams that they were more senior, had more experience. They had I don't know, 10 years or more experience, and I had also, again, like I was younger, I had to prove myself, prove I'm able to put value, and this is actually I earned a position at this moment, at this company, at this career. Also working with clients, you had to also to be invested or actually convinced with your experience and what you're actually trying to deliver, and you can add value.
And this helped you to grow.
Yeah, exactly. So that helped me grow. Also, a lot of people who actually were able to help and mentor me and give me advice and even help me in situations that I needed help. And at some point, and this is actually what you learn over time, that you also you make use of experienced people, you make use of other people that can help you. You don't have always to figure out everything in your own. And I think this is crucial also, like working in bigger companies, you always have someone who can help you with an issue that you are facing, or can guide you in your career, or can just give you an advice about what you can do better. So yeah, it was always I made use of that after also some years that I thought I should like do everything on my own, and not really rely on to the help of others. I grew also. It was part of the experience that I take that, okay, I need to learn more from other people, learn more from seniors, use them, utilize their experience to actually make myself grow and into the positions that I took.
Yeah. And then later, how did you progress in your career? You moved to Amsterdam?
Yeah. So after this, I moved to Amsterdam. I always liked Amsterdam as a city. It was really nice. I think I always thought one day I will move there. And yeah, it just happened. I didn't really plan it, but yeah, at some point also, I had an opportunity to focus more into also like solution architecture, continue with a different kind of challenge. I think that was at some point also during Corona. I said, okay, yeah, that's really something on the track of what I want to do. Continue actually working with maybe some technologies and that I want to grow on. And also, it was a plus side that was a city that I really liked. That so I decided, okay, maybe I should take this opportunity and yeah, see how it goes. And yeah, that was just another step in my journey that helped me to be where I am today. Yeah.
That's really cool. Your first opportunity there was the same, exactly
No,
the
no, no, no.
same.
So I started as a solution architect as it was more like a product-based company, and it was a different experience. So far in my career, I work at like it's more service provider or like slash consulting departments like from IBM. I worked also in financial services, banks or financial institutions like the banks that I worked in Poland. I also worked in more consulting firms in doing a specific doing customer projects and engagement in more in architecture based. It was an interesting thing to start doing, actually working in a product-based company. This is something I haven't done before, which I thought, okay, maybe this is something I didn't do in my career at this moment. It will help me to grow further and understand how actually people work in such companies. Yeah, that's why I decided to take that role. And I worked in a position maybe a bit similar to what I'm doing today, and which actually prepared me for that. I worked as a part of customer success team as a solution architect also. I had part of something between dealing with the product, dealing with clients, helping them to design and implement solutions using the product that the company was providing in their environment. It was also using cloud. It was also using some technologies that I wanted to work with, and I wanted to explore also this part of being part of customer success teams, which actually help clients adopting certain products or doing work, helping them into building their solution. Yeah. And this is what actually ended up in my position currently as a cloud solution architect, also at Microsoft, doing something similar to what I was doing at this opportunity. But yeah, it was also another step that prepared me maybe to have a similar experience.
Like in every experience, it's like it prepared you to get ready for your next one
Yeah,
until you.
exactly. Like, yeah, looking back, it made sense. It made all sense. I think at some point, I'm exactly what I imagined I would be like 10 years ago or something like this. I wanted to be
Mm.
that. I wanted to be that also at this age or this phase of my career. And just it turned out how I wanted to be. And yeah, it's just also I think it's another step in my journey, just to that will get me to, I don't know, new challenges or new things that I will learn or grow on during my career.
This is very inspiring. And like when you know what you want, like when you have clarity on what you really would like to achieve, it helps a
Yeah,
lot to go through different things. And when it feels like it fails, it will redirect you to something else, and then you give it a try again. And it's difficult to deal with that,
yeah.
like at that moment when you are in that in a difficult situation, like how you cope with that or how you can deal with that. Is there like some tips or
Yeah,
because it's
yeah,
difficult?
I think it's difficult for everyone. If you talk to more like senior people, more experienced mentors, or actually people who actually use or help in a lot of my work, they had the same. It never gets easier. You will always feel doubt sometime. You will always feel that, okay, I don't know everything. I need to learn more, especially in industries that we have. the important thing to always remind myself also when I face difficulties that okay, I've been in a more difficult situation or similar difficult situation. I managed to go through it. I managed to do good. I remind myself also in of the challenges that I overcome over the years. That whatever I'm doing at this point, I earned somehow to be here, to actually be able to add value to the people I'm working with, to the clients that I'm working with. Yeah, it's really important not to lose your value or what you are adding actually in self-doubt. That's the main thing that I focus on. Even if
Mhm.
everyone have failures, think about the most like the role model that you have in your career or even in personal life. Anyone that you can think of had already failed at some point, did a wrong decision, but why he's successful now, why you are taking him as a role model, that he actually somehow didn't let that define him or didn't like let that define his value or what he was able to give and deliver, and he was able to overcome other challenges again.
Yeah, it's a good way to think about this and also having a role
Yeah,
model.
I think this is having a career mentoring, having a role model into your career. That helped me a lot. Also, like to define how I want to grow. You have to learn from experience from other people. Also, when you feel or you have this feeling, okay, my mentor, my role model that I value a lot, I feel that he is really good or she is really good at what they are doing. They failed. They share their experience. They are not some superhumans that were able to do stuff, and that
Yeah,
also give you this comfortable that okay, I'm comfortable being in uncomfortable positions, right? Because our work is challenging and complicated
yeah.
in a lot of aspects, and it will just happen to you. It happens to a lot of people. It shouldn't define you or shouldn't define how do you look at your value or what you are adding to people around you.
Yeah, that's true. And through all of this, you will develop personal skills, like in
Yeah,
your
yeah.
personality to deal with this, like until you will seem that because you build this resiliency.
Yes, yes, yeah, yeah.
And now, like, okay, because we talked about your different jobs, and tell us about your current job in general.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Like I said, I'm working as a cloud solution architect, mainly in helping clients to actually adopt or to use like cloud services, helping clients to develop cloud native architecture, cloud native applications, working with cloud platforms and so on. My main motive and goal with customers is just helping them to design their solution, review their solutions that they are designing on cloud, help them to actually build better solution that is well architected in some way, and also like bring value or add value using like the recommendation best practice that I actually have to provide. And yeah, also help them move to the cloud, provide better services to their customers, which is actually something that I always feel value of what I'm doing with what actually at the end user is getting. So I help. I used to work with companies or enterprises early in my career where I actually see my when I was developing, I can actually see my little impact to the end user, whatever I was doing. I don't know if you are working with a bank and you did an internet banking platform or something,
Mhm.
so you know that people are actually using your service to transfer money easier or something like this. With more in this role and other roles, this is more into more enabling organizations or enabling people to actually do things better and having this value from other people of okay, I made the organizations make the correct choices, which actually reflected on users or end users at the end at some point that okay, you will have a better service, you will have a better system to interact with, which is if even if it's a smaller amount, but will make people lives easier, and this is what I like about it.
Nice. Like you will get exactly this sense of fulfillment to see like through the customer through the
Yeah.
feedback, and also like what you are providing to directly to for the customer success.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So I'm a part of organization unit which
Mhm.
is called customer success, right? So our goal is actually to help customer that we are working with to success. In my position, that means actually help them to build the
Mhm.
the right solution, cloud, adopt more cloud native services, and make them actually use cloud in the right way that actually fulfill the requirements. In every role that I have, I like to see how that reflects to actually to the end users, or how actually reflect to just normal people doing their life, and I try to find value of that in what I'm doing. Yeah.
It's very nice. What are the current challenges that you are having?
It's the same. It's the same old thing for everything that I also faced. You also have to provide value. Also, big companies with a lot of talented people, you have to prove your worth and actually what you are trying to do. One of my mentors, when we were discussing similar doubts about having what you have or like work that you have done, told me like no matter like what others are doing or no matter how talented people you are working with, never underestimate the value that you bring to a team or to an organization. You are always selected or doing your job in any team because you earned that
Mhm.
somehow. And I think this is really, yeah, this is really what I'm trying to do. And it has been great for me, I think, so far. I love being in this kind of challenges because this is what actually makes me grow. Otherwise, I just don't like to be in a role that I know the inside out of it. If I reach this position at any point, I feel I need to change because
Mhm.
this is maybe not the correct thing to me to do anymore. So yeah, a lot of challenges from actually fitting into the organization, how it works, fitting with the team and culture, fitting with clients also, like and facing a lot of challenges around stakeholder management because also a part of such position and also a part of architecture is handling the different perspective from different people. You need to understand actually what kind of audience you are talking to, what do they want to see or include, and you have to manage the communications, the expectation with them. And the same day with the same client, you could be in totally different calls or totally different meetings. Each of them just actually address a different perspective of the same issue, but it's just with different audience. And I think this is one of the most challenge that you always face. You always need to focus into like delivering the correct perspective or the correct message to the different audience that you deal with. Yeah, and I think I try to do it better every day. And yeah.
Yeah, and like working for a company, a big company like Microsoft, I think it's a different experience compared to work with like a smaller
Yeah,
scale
it's
company.
challenging between because you work a lot with a lot of talented
Mm,
people,
yeah.
but also at the same side you work with a really good people that you actually learn a lot from them. You have awesome career mentors. You can have a lot of possibilities to grow and learn new things that you might not learn in other positions. I personally like working in such environment. This is something that I also wanted to re because starting my career with such in such a big company also like IBM, it had me always lingering this feeling that I want to be part also about a big environment again because I actually enjoy working with talented people a lot. It's 90% of what I'm doing is actually interacting with these people and learning their experience and learning from each other and helping each other. And you have also like a real possibility for getting priceless career advices from
Yeah.
people. It's just like this is something that you won't go. You there is a lot of people who spend their life working with clients that are expert in their domains that you can just approach anyone and just ask him a question. Okay, how I can improve in this and this and this? Can you give me your perspective on how we can do or handle a certain situation? And this is actually something that keeps me growing, interacting with such network of expertise, and this is actually what I wanted to have, and I'm happy to have it again. Yeah.
It's amazing. And I really like the advice of your mentor. It's
Yeah,
very
yeah.
valuable. I myself learned from it. I will also remind myself about it.
Because you tend sometimes to focus on what others bring, for example, and not what you are actually bringing. And it's also important to reflect on your work and what are the success and failures that you are providing, and be able to show your work also, or present your work to other people. This is part of for you first to remind yourself of what are the good things that you have. I always keep some kind of a document or a journal of things that I think I'm proud if I
Mm,
did while I'm working. I always visit this when I feel down.
this is a good idea.
Other people also are looking at you and seeing the same, and seeing you are bringing a lot of value. This is also how you should reflect how you see yourself, because you tend to focus more into the negative parts. Maybe not a lot of people will see that, but you keep stressing on or actually focusing into to the parts. You have to balance it out by actually focusing on the good
Yeah,
parts, and at the same time learning from mistakes or failures that you actually feel, and reflect with that with other colleagues, reflect with people, get feedback.
exactly. Yeah.
It will help you a lot in your growth. Maybe stuff that you said, situations that you thought that okay, it wasn't the best decision to make. Maybe other people will actually think it was a good idea, it was a good decision for you to make, and actually learn it from it. If you didn't ask, maybe they won't share that with you. So it's really important also to ask for feedback as you grow. It will help you a lot in your growth.
Yeah, that's really important to get feedback. Always remind yourself about the value that you are bringing, and it's okay to ask for feedback to improve and to have the balance.
Yeah, yeah, I totally agree with that. Yeah.
You mentioned about many valuable advice, and I wanted to ask you before we finish this interesting conversation, what did you wish you have known when you were younger? Even I know that it's not about like regret. This maybe
Yeah.
will bring a message to the audience who are starting their journey so they can have this information or advice.
Yeah, yeah. I think a lot of what I learned, I think I also we discussed it somehow or touched on during the conversation. But if I want to maybe summarize or like say something that I feel it was valuable, the first thing I think, if I'm starting early in my career, I think I was competitive. I thought I knew everything, and just like no one can stop me. When I grew more into like different position and had more experience, I thought, okay, this was just like a lot of energy, but directed maybe in a wrong way. And if I go back, I would love to have more focus on what I learn, and what actually doing good things, learning new things also, but knowing, being more humble, and knowing that I don't know everything actually, and people can just yeah, there is a lot yet to learn, and every time you will know that there are so much to learn, and this is something that I think you get by time. But I wish I was more like less arrogant, more humble at the early of my career, and focus my energy in not being competitive, but also like being more into like learning new stuff, and yeah, enjoying more what I'm doing. Maybe another 2 points that I would like to address. The first, I think we touched on during our conversation, but also like admitting when you failed or have a failure is a normal thing. It's also not a personal culture, but also in companies. It's a company culture, sometimes organization culture. I learned it from actually more people in more senior positions than me, that at certain points who actually admitted simply, I made a mistake. I will do this and this to correct it. And it just unplugged this feeling on me that if someone who is like in a much higher position could actually admit he failed at something, and he would do certain steps to overcome it, or just do it, so I can do it too. I don't have to be ashamed of doing something wrong, because usually sometimes also people can get into some defensive behaviors. Okay, I didn't
Mm.
made a mistake. You will just do a lot of maybe other mistake, trying just to back up your position. which I learned is not worth it. It will make you in just a worse position that you started with, maybe with more mistake to do. A bit of it is a personal trait that you need to get to yourself, but also the company that you're working with or the organization. Company culture helps you a lot also to be open up about it, or also to admit about your fears and learn about it. So this is something good I learned, and I think I would give it to my younger self also.
It's a good point.
Yeah. The last thing I wanted to close with, I think everyone have its own journey. A lot of people think about I have to work in a specific company or have a specific position to be successful. I, I don't think this is totally true. My journey meant so much to me because it was my journey. I wanted to have it because maybe I planned it, or as I aspired. I learned it from other mentors in my career that this is something that maybe I want to do. And that's why it means so much to me. And everyone have its own journey and its own perspective on things. There's no one way of being successful. There is a lot of challenging facing people at certain times, maybe during their career. They feel some pressure from peer pressure from people that they have to do specific things to be a successful engineer, or you have to join the specific company to be the I don't know, be a specific position at certain age or a certain time. I don't think this is true. I just wanted to close with this because also it's really important when we see people talk about their journeys. It's specific to people. It's really something. Everyone had made their own journey with their own challenges and faced a lot to be where they are today.
Yeah. Everyone has their own definition of success,
Yeah.
and it depends to their value. There are people who would be happy to have a stable job,
Yes.
yeah, feeling comfortable on their job.
Exactly.
So it's like when they achieve that point, they will feel content about it. And
Yeah.
like also when, for example, when someone hear about different journeys, some journeys they find okay, it's interesting, but I don't feel connected to. Like I don't feel this is
Yeah.
exactly what I
Yeah.
want to do. And maybe
Yeah.
also, for example, someone hears about your journey and they are already thinking about similar things and having similar values as you. They say, like they will feel connected and they
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
maybe get inspired to get some. And even if they will follow similar, let's say, if they will follow similar path or something, they will go through different challenges because everyone has also their
Yeah. Yeah.
different personality and ways of dealing with problems, etc.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's always a unique experience for everyone because yeah, you face your own challenges, you face your own journey, right? So don't compare it to other people's journeys. Learn from other people's journeys because this is important. This is why actually people get inspired from other people's journey, but don't really yeah, just enforce or compare it to your own. Just make your own journey, and yeah, just different, right?
Yeah, and unique. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
That was really nice and inspiring.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing
Uh,
about your story.
Thank you. I was happy to be here and have the conversation with you. Yeah, and good luck with the other sessions that you will have.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Yeah, bye.
I'm looking forward to our next episode with a new guest and new inspiring story. Until then, stay safe and stay tuned to our next episode. Tic Tac, tackle the inspiration.